Look around you. You see wealth concentrated in the same hands. You see the middle class working harder, taking on more debt, and still falling behind. You think it's bad luck or perhaps a political conspiracy, but the truth is far more structural and far older. There are laws of money, not the tax code, not the Constitution, but invisible rules written centuries ago that silently dictate who gets rich and who stays stuck. These laws are as reliable as gravity, and they're the engine of global inequality. These three rules, dating back over 300 years, explain every financial crisis, every housing bubble, and the reason your paycheck loses power every year. We're going to break them down not just to understand the system, but to learn how to beat it. Before we dive into the first rule, take a moment. You need to stop thinking of money as something you earn and start thinking of it as a current, a flow of energy. Your position in that flow is all that matters. The first principle is Gresham's Law. It's simple and devastatingly effective. Bad money drives out good money. 3 centuries ago, this meant rulers would clip or debase their gold and silver coins by mixing them with cheaper metals. People quickly noticed the difference. They would hoard the pure, good coins and spend only the debased, bad coins. The real value vanished from circulation. The bad money stayed. Now fast forward to today. The metals are gone, replaced by credit, debt, and digital promises. When central banks flood the system with cheap credit through low interest rates, quantitative easing, and stimulus, they're essentially debasing the currency. This inflated, easily borrowed money is the new bad money. It systematically drives out good money, which is savings, fiscal discipline, and patience. People stop saving money that loses 5% of its value every year to inflation. They are forced to speculate. They buy high-risk assets, chasing returns, because holding cash is a guaranteed loss. And who benefits? The first receivers, the banks, the investment funds, and the corporations that get access to the fresh, cheap money before it has filtered through the economy. By the time that money reaches your bank account as a modest raise, its value has already been diluted by higher prices, the very inflation caused by the system's injection. Gresham's Law is not just history, it's your monthly grocery bill rising faster than your income. It ensures that quality, savings and productivity, is punished, and quantity, debt and speculation, is rewarded. If Gresham's Law explains why the quality of money declines, the Cantillon Effect, named after 18th century economist Richard Cantillon, explains who gets rich. His insight was brutal. Money is never neutral. When new money is created, it flows through the economy unevenly, enriching some while actively eroding the wealth of others. Imagine a dry field. The water from the irrigation pump hits the nearest crops first, causing them to explode with growth. The areas furthest away barely receive a trickle, and by the time it gets there, much of it has evaporated. In our financial system, the source is the Federal Reserve and the Treasury. The first recipients are the major banks, Wall Street, and asset managers. When the Fed prints trillions, these institutions get the money first. What do? They bid up the price of assets, stocks, bonds, and real estate. This is why markets surge after a crisis while the average worker is still waiting for their job back. For the vast majority, the late receivers, prices climb long before wages do. You feel the crushing weight of inflation immediately, but the benefit of the stimulus never quite makes it to your door. Look at the data after the 2008 crisis. The Fed printed trillions, stocks tripled. The top 1% saw their net worth surge by close to 40% in a decade. But median household income remained stagnant. Housing became more unaffordable than ever before. The Cantillon Effect isn't theory. It's a structural flaw that turns proximity to the money source into the ultimate form of wealth. The closer you are to the source, the faster you get rich. The further you are, the more you pay the bill. Gresham's Law causes devaluation. Cantillon's Law causes uneven distribution. Now, the final rule, Pareto's Principle, explains why this inequality is not temporary, it's locked in place. Pareto, an Italian economist, noticed in 1896 that roughly 80% of Italy's land was owned by 20% of its citizens. This 80-20 rule applied to wealth shows that a minority of participants dominate the outcomes. This law is not about policy, it's about behavior and mathematical compounding. The system is designed to reward understanding over effort. Those who understand how money flows, those who benefit from the Cantillon Effect, take that early capital and compound it. They buy more assets, they gain leverage, and their wealth grows exponentially. Conversely, those who do not understand these laws lose capital slowly through inflation, taxes, and poor timing. They're trading their most valuable asset, their time, for a currency that is actively being diluted by Gresham's Law. This is the most sobering truth. The system rewards ownership, not labor, and because the rewards of ownership compound, the gap naturally, mathematically expands. Every time cheap credit enters the system, it benefits the owners of assets twice. First, through rising prices, and second, through access to cheap borrowing against those assets. The workers, the earners, receive the spillover as debt and higher living costs. These laws are not malicious, they are structural. You cannot wish away the laws of gravity, and you cannot wish away the laws of money, but you can change your position within the structure. The paradox is, the same three laws that widen the gap can be used to escape it. Once you see the structure, you can stop fighting the current and start flowing with it. The key is proximity. You must stop being the last receiver and become an early receiver. How do you do that? Stop trading time for diluting currency. Wages are necessary, but they are the last to adjust to inflation. Your focus must shift from earning income to owning assets. Move closer to the source. Assets that float in the current of new money, equities, businesses, productive real estate, and high-quality scarce assets are your defense. When new money is printed, it flows into these areas first. Hold quality. In an age of debased currency, Gresham's Law, smart money hoards quality. That means holding assets that cannot be printed and are uncorrelated to the financial system's ever-increasing debt. Think about commodities, gold, or digital stores of value with fixed supplies. This knowledge transforms your view of the world. Every headline about interest rates or quantitative easing is not a random event. It's the ancient laws in motion. The players change, but the math does not. You are not powerless inside this system, but you must stop thinking linearly and start planning within the structure's limits. History shows these transitions repeat. In the 17th century, debased silver wrecked empires. In the 20th, fiat money financed wars and massive welfare states. In the 21st, digital credit finances everything. The surface changes, the core mechanism endures. You live in a system that rewards ownership, not labor, and proximity, not patience. Your response to these laws determines your financial outcome. If you rely on wages and savings, you are the last in line. If you own productive assets, you are closer to the source. That difference compounds over decades, defining your mobility. Now, as you leave this video, think about where you stand in the flow. How do you move closer to the source? Which assets hold value when quality drains from the system? If you gain clarity from this breakdown, hit the like button and tell me in the comments, which of these three laws do you feel impacting your finances the most right now? Subscribe for more clear, data-driven insights into the forces that truly shape your wealth. Stay alert, stay informed. The laws of money never change, only the players do.